Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? I'm sorry, my orientation on my camera is kind of wonky. I set it that way right before I went live, so it's gonna stay that way. Okay, so as people start to file in, I wanna make sure if you have questions, hey Colin, please put them in the chat box. You can super chat them if you really want me to see them. I'll try to catch them if they're in the regular chat. But I'm gonna try to give you guys as much as I know about this Arizona Maricopa County audit, okay? Because I have been getting a lot of questions from people. I have people who have no idea what this is about, what the significance is. So I'm going to run through this with you guys really, really quick. Well, as quick as I can, and give you guys as much information as possible because I am also learning as I go. And it is a big, big deal. So I'm going to cross my fingers that they don't sabotage my live stream because the topic that we're talking about right now, they don't want us to talk about, okay? So, and I'm very, very serious about that. You guys can go look for yourself, go look on Fox, go look on CNN, go YouTube search this topic, and you will be hard pressed to find any major news networks talking about this, okay? You're gonna find small local stations talking about it, but they're gonna be talking about how ridiculous it is. And that's because they don't want you to take this seriously, okay? They don't want you to know that this is a big, big deal, okay? So pay attention. Again, if you have questions, you can super chat them. You can put them in the live. Anything is appreciated. You know I love super chats because it helps me keep this channel going, okay? So I'm going to get to questions, but I'm not going to stop in between unless it's something I feel like I need to address right away. Okay, so here is what's going on. In Maricopa County, Arizona, they, and when I say they, it is the Board of Supervisors in Maricopa County have been receiving calls for a forensic review of the ballots in Arizona. We all know why that is. I'm not going to go into that. We all know why that is, okay? So they fought to try to get this audit going, and they ran into a lot of obstacles along the way. Location was one of them. Getting a hold of the ballots was another thing. Because the Democratic Party does not want this to take place. And why they don't want it to take place is because what is going to come from this audit. We all know what's going to come from this audit, and they want to stop it. If you don't believe me, if you're skeptical of that, ask yourself this, okay? If they have nothing to hide, if you have nothing to hide, why would you care that they are doing an audit? Why would you care that they are checking these ballots? But let me tell you something. They are filing suits like crazy trying to get this count stopped, but they are not successful. Even today, or I think it was yesterday, one of the Superior Court judges that was going to be presiding over the ruling of this case actually recused himself, okay? Which, when I looked up what it means when a judge recuses himself, that means he steps down from handling the case because he has some type of a conflict with being able to rule the case because he's either got a financial interest in the case, he's got a personal interest in the case, so he recuses himself and steps down and doesn't want to handle it, okay? So there's another warning sign for you because that's very sus to me as well. Okay, now this judge is a Republican judge, which was very, very interesting. Anyways, let's get on to this, okay? So what they're doing is in Maricopa County, they have rented out, let me see what it is. It is the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, where they have now shipped in 1.2 million ballots to this location. And they have hired a group of people. Now, I do not know what checks and balances these people had to go through to get this job, but I assume that they were very careful in picking them. There is also a website at azaudit.org where you can go and look at the 9 camera angles that they have watching the inside of the Coliseum 24/7 as this audit takes place, okay? So if you go to azaudit.org right now, you will see 9 cameras. You can click on each one individually. I've clicked on them at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can see that there is a security guard at all times standing there at one end, and then there's another security guard at another end, and then there's several people constantly walking through the building, even when nobody is working there, okay? Now, when people are working there, you will see a lot of people. So they have the center of the Coliseum set up so that they have these individual stations. They have people wearing different color shirts, and the different color shirts mean different things. They have different roles. They have people in black shirts, they have people in blue shirts, they have people in red shirts and yellow shirts, okay? If you're watching these cameras throughout the day, it's very hard to tell what is going on, but I have been watching them, and millions of people are watching them. There's actually a Telegram chat called Code Monkey. I believe it's called Code Monkey Z. This recount, they're reporting them through there, and they are immediately checking them out, okay? So they have tables set up, and at these tables, different stations, different people are checking these ballots multiple times. Now, a lot of people are thinking that this is just simply that they're recounting these ballots, that they're going through and they're saying, okay, this was a vote for you know who, and this is a vote for this person. And there's nothing shady that kind of, looks obvious on this ballot that would call to our attention, but it is much, much deeper than that. So I'm going to go into that part because this is the part that you need to know, okay? So this is a forensic audit. So it's just like when somebody dies and you have a forensic pathologist go through and look at the very minute details of this person's biology, of how they died, of the circumstances, of the weather, all kinds of different things. So they're doing the same thing with these ballots, okay? Now, this guy named Jovan Pulitzer invented a technology that many of us use on a day-to-day basis. He invented the QRC codes that we scan on our cell phones. He invented the scan code that many of us scan when we go to the airport. He invented the toll tag scan. So when you go through the toll tag and it scans your car and it sends you a bill, he invented that, okay? Now, all of these ballots are scanned and tabulated. That is how they are counted. So whether you physically went and voted, whether you mailed in your ballot, they're all going to be scanned and tabulated. It doesn't matter how you did the vote, they are scanned and tabulated, okay? So that is a physical ballot. It goes through a machine scan. They can even take shredded ballots and apply the technology that I'm about to explain to you right now, okay? So on a technical level, these ballots are owned, okay, for 22 months after the election. So a lot of us have been hearing, that they haven't been, they've had a hard time getting a hold of these ballots. And can we get a hold of all these ballots? Yes, technically, these ballots have to be available for this particular purpose for 22 months after the election, okay? Now, when a mail-in ballot, let's talk about mail-in ballots in particular, because those are the ones that are really the ones that we've heard a lot about throughout this process, okay? Mail-in ballots, when they create the mail-in ballot, it goes through a machine, and the machine rolls it, like they do mass production of these ballots. This is before anybody fills them out. They roll them through these rollers. They have an automated folding machine. They have these blow machines that stuff it into an envelope, seal it up, and then it goes to you in the mail. And even that particular piece of mail will go through a machine as well. Now, this is the thing that they're going to be looking at. Now, if you have been watching the cameras, okay, a lot of people have been talking about the fact that they have been running these ballots through these boxes that are infrared, like an infrared light box, okay? And there were people going, oh, well, there was the rumor that there was a watermark on the ballots. And so that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the watermark, or maybe they're looking for fingerprints. No, they are not looking for the watermark. What they are looking for is this. And this was so interesting because I watched an interview with this guy, Jovan Pulitzer, who explained this so well for being such a technical person, okay? So he said, when ballots go out in the mail, they have things like creases in them, okay? So if they've gone through these machines, they're gonna have creases. If they were physically printed, they are going to have a marking from the specific printer that they went through, they're going to have very distinct markings on them, okay? So if you go and you take a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard right now and you fold it, you can go fold up 3 pieces of paper. They're each going to have their own individual markings. They're not all going to fold the same. If the ballots were never mailed, were never folded, they're not going to have these markings, okay? So that is one thing that they are looking for. They are looking for markings of ballots that were supposed to be mailed that look like they were mailed. They are also looking for identification marks from the printers. These printers put codes that you and I cannot see with our naked eye, or we can't see very well. They're looking for, yes, fibers, ink, fingerprints, okay? They're even looking at the signatures, okay? Because when you write out your signature, you're not applying the same pressure, from start to finish that you would, you would never apply. I mean, when you're writing your signature, as you get towards the end, your pressure changes, and there's people that do just forensic analysis of signatures. So they're also looking at the signatures to see if those signatures were automatically created by a machine or if they were written with ink. Okay, so they're looking for ink as well. So it is a very, very simple physical audit. It's not so much techie in the sense that they're looking for, codes from the Dominion machine or things like that. They're looking for very simple physical markings to call their attention to ballots that may be suspect, okay? And they're doing this with each individual ballot, okay? They're also trying to get this process that they're going through right now written into law, because what they want to do, this is not just about this one election. This is about future elections and making sure that our vote is counting, making sure that our vote is being counted valid, is a valid vote, right? That it's not being taken from us, okay? So that is the biggest thing of this, is that this is basically a test to make sure that this process really is working. And so far, it seems to be working pretty well. On day one, the process was moving really slow. Like I said, they have 1.2 million ballots to count. Each one is going to be looked at, and it was moving really slow, but now you can actually see that they have tons of finished ballot boxes stacked up that have already been reviewed, okay? I do not know what the time frame is for this particular process to be completed, although, like I said, they're moving quite fast, so I would think maybe in a week they might be done with this, okay? So why is this important? This is the biggest thing that people have been asking. And I went into this a little bit on my video that I made a couple days ago. I think it was last week, talking about stacking the courts, okay? And the reason why I talked about it in that video is because the two go hand in hand. Right now, Biden is trying very, very hard, the Democrats in general, trying very, very hard to pack the courts. And what that means is they're wanting to add more justices into the Supreme Court, and they want to add more liberal justices, okay? And people are just like, oh, who cares? Like, we can also, when it comes to be our turn, we can add more people, and on and on and on and on and on. But that's not how it was designed to work, okay? But the reason why they're trying to do this is this, okay? If this audit yields a result, okay, that is favorable and shows that there was some type of funny business, I can't say the F word on this live stream, but if there was funny business in this original counting process, it is going to be major, okay? What it's going to do is, if they say, yep, we found some ballots that don't look like they were official ballots, they don't look like they've been through a machine, they don't look like they have a valid signature, they don't look like they've maybe been touched a few times, they look a little too clean, right? What's going to happen next? Well, I'll tell you what. The guy that lost, we all know who that is, Mr. T. I can't say his name either because they'll screw my live stream. But that guy will be able to basically sue. And when this starts to happen, other states that were in question of the validity of their votes are going to probably do the same thing. And if they find any more states with this same exact problem, guess what it does? I just saw somebody put it. Can somebody, let's take a guess on what can happen if another state aside from Maricopa County or another county finds that the votes were not tabulated correctly. What can happen? Let's put it in the comments. Let's see who knows the answer to this question. Anybody want to take a guess? I know you guys are so smart. You guys are so smart. Of course you're smart. Yes, so it will basically delegitimize who is currently in office. That is a huge, huge deal, okay? But it doesn't end there. Yes, Trump can, after the Maricopa County audit is complete, Trump can file a lawsuit. And once that lawsuit is in process and other states start to go through and do the same forensic audit, and we say, oh, this doesn't look like it was a legitimate election, it now has to go to the Supreme Court, which is why Biden and the Democrats are wanting to pack the court. Because if it does have to go to the Supreme Court, he wants it to be ruled in his favor. Now, how it would be ruled in his favor, considering that the Supreme Court justices have to rule by law, what the law says, what the Constitution says, then the whole thing would be a sham, and that would be a bigger problem in itself, okay? Yes, it would not be a legitimate election. That is correct. That is correct. Now, the reason why it has to go to the Supreme Court is because Congress has already certified this election. Okay, so because Congress has already certified the election, they have to go through the Supreme Court to get this reversed. And if it gets reversed, you know what that means. That means that the person who is in the seat in the big house right now is not there legally. That is gigantic. That is huge. Okay. You know, people have said, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I just saw somebody put that. That's not going to happen. Think again. Okay. This has been the year of things happening that we said weren't going to happen. Do you remember the 30 days to stop the spread? And people were like, they're not going to have us wearing masks forever. They're not going to shut down the city. They're not going to, this isn't going to go past a couple months. Here we are a year later, still wearing masks, still businesses shut down. It could happen. And I have learned, if there's one thing I have learned this year, it is to say never, because anything is possible today. Okay? Anything is possible. And I would find it hard to believe that they're going to go through all this and they're going to be able to ignore the facts. You cannot ignore the facts. Okay? This is the other problem with it, though. The other problem is this: people are still, I know logical people, like the people that are here on this live stream, go, this is what we were hoping for, from the beginning. We didn't want to have to go this far into it. We wanted it to be fair to begin with, but it's not going to, unfortunately, it's not going to be the end of problems. There are people that no matter what this audit finds, that no matter what the Supreme Court rules, are not going to be happy if this gets reversed, okay? If this gets reversed, they've been talking about, the possibility of a civil war, the possibility of just complete and total anarchy. This could be the one thing that sends us there. But yes, we have to, thank you, Janie, we have to find the truth, you guys. This is far beyond, which president has won, which party has won. This is far, far beyond this. This is about finding the truth. And I'll tell you what, I'll be the first person. I said this back at the end of the election, back in January, was if the truth is that the guy that's in the office right now is the guy that should legally be there, then it is what it is. Regardless of whether he's ruining this country or not, it is what it is. But I want to be 1000% certain, okay, that that election was handled lawfully. Okay? I think Pulitzer already presented evidence in Georgia at their hearings a few months. Yeah, he did. Yeah, so this isn't, like I said, this guy has been doing this for a very long time. Like, he's not just some nerdy guy in his basement, you know, that came up with this process, or, you know, they're not just over there going, okay, you know, we're going to take this ballot and count it. No, that's not what they're doing, you guys. This is far more detailed than that. And that's why I say that, you know, whatever does, you know, whatever result yields in this audit is going to be the real result. It's going to be the truth. All we care about is the truth. That's it. That's it. So I, you know, hope that that made a little bit more sense for you guys. I know a lot of people were very confused. They really didn't understand where this all connected, what this all meant, you know, then what happens. And people also said to me, well, you know, they've done these audits before. Don't you remember that they were auditing and they challenged blah, blah, blah. They did. But what was happening is that they were bringing in these auditors that were hired by God knows who. And these people were kind of doing like a random, like pulling, you know, random stuff kind of audit, not a ballot by ballot audit like they're doing right now. So I wanted to make sure that I came on here and I explained that. I was originally going to do a video, but I was like, this is just too much. I have to, you know, explain this to you guys. So when this video is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to the interview that I saw on the Gateway Pundit with the guy that is creating this process for the audit, Jovan Pulitzer. And you guys can watch the video where he explains in much greater detail than I just did for you how this all works, okay? So I'll make sure to put that in there. Now let me get into the comments to see what you guys are asking. Thank you so much, Janie. Great job on your explanation. I appreciate it. I know voters that voted for Biden and they are struggling right now. Yeah, you know, I was just talking to my mom about this today, as a matter of fact. I said, you know, there were people that were very hardcore Biden and they were diehards. And even they're growing weary of the type of leadership that they have now realized that they have chosen for this country. So, you know, for those of us that listen to a lot of different stuff, I often listen to X22 Report just out of curiosity. I listen to it. And they are always talking about how people, sorry guys, I'm going to log in, see if I can see the chat a little bit better here. But they're always talking about how, you know, people need to wake up on their own, that it wasn't going to be enough, you know, for Trump, you know, to keep fighting this as he was, because people were just so anti-Trump, they weren't going to hear the truth. They weren't going to hear the facts. And so, you know, this is unfortunately the way that it needs to happen, is that people need to see this truth. They need to wake up on their own. They need to wake up slowly, apparently. But the reality is there's going to be some people that just don't wake up. They're going to fight it. They are going to, you know, say it's lies, say it's a scam. They're going to do everything they can to not see what needs to be seen. And that's a shame, but that is the reality of how it is. So let me see if I can get into the chat here. Give me just 1 second. I don't even know. I'll get into the questions. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let me scroll back up to the top of the questions here. Okay. Pelosi, Schumer, and Waters would have a stroke if the truth came out. Yeah, well, no, they're already having a stroke. They're having a stroke because this is their worst nightmare. And I'll tell you what, like, it makes me so happy that to see people are watching these cameras day and night. They're looking for any little discrepancy. I mean, I've seen like a guy, he like looked like he took a picture of something, There was another guy who looked like he put his hand in his pocket. I mean, people were criticizing every little move these people were making. Now, I have since kind of understood a little bit more of the rules. They're not allowed to have their own phones on the property. If they want to use their phones, they have to go outside of the premises and use their phones. That if you see anybody there taking pictures, I think the people that are wearing the black shirts are people that are taking photo evidence of what they're finding. So I have seen a few times they've been running these things through the infrared machine, and people quickly hover around to take pictures. So you know that they're finding something there for sure. Okay, let's keep going on the questions here. You know they cheated. They're just afraid it'll get out to the public, but I don't know if these brainwashed Biden voters will care. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. That's what's going to happen. So it seems like some of you are very well versed on some of this stuff, which is great. And you guys, for those of you guys who are not, please understand, I'm not an expert at this at all. Like I went out and found this information myself. I did the research myself. I'm learning as I go. But I just really want you guys to understand how important this is and how much attention we should be paying to this, because they're definitely trying to distract us from paying attention to this. I was appalled yesterday when I went on and found out that like Fox was hardly covering this. CNN was hardly covering this at all. So you know that when the news isn't covering it, that's something to pay attention to. That's something to pay attention to. Liberals are already turning on each other. Yes, it is possible. I think Pulitzer already presented evidence in Georgia. I just read that. It would be at least mean safeguards are put in place across the board for elections moving forward. I agree. I don't think people are going to, vote if they don't think that their vote is going to be properly counted. Yes, doesn't matter what party you belong to. We want free and fair elections. There was a comment in here that somebody asked me a question. This is off topic, but did you hear about Bill Clinton and Epstein? I saw the picture that was floating around of Bill Clinton hosting some event at the White House, and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were there. That was no surprise to me. I mean, their names were on his flight manifest to his pedophile island, so no surprise to me that he had a picture with them. None at all. And by the way, not to change subjects, but I was watching, I can't remember where it was, they were talking about Ghislaine Maxwell was arraigned in court, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. And they were just kind of talking about her demeanor. You couldn't actually see, they just showed like the sketch of her in court, and she looks completely different. Thank God nothing's happened to her, because we need her to testify. And who really knows what's going on there and what information they're getting out of her. I really think that they're getting a lot of information out of her, to tell you the truth. We're just not hearing about it. Okay. Reagan, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You are doing a great job explaining this. Thank God for sensible, smart girls like us. Thank you so much, Reagan. And I love, if that's your name, your government name, I love that, Reagan. That's a cute name for a girl. The MSN is working overtime to discredit the Maricopa County audit. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And they're working overtime by not talking about it. So, yeah. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please share this across the board, because people need to know about it. And, I don't know how long this video is actually going to stay up on YouTube, to tell you the truth, because I'm surprised I have even gotten this far with it. Talking very openly about everything that I've spoken about, but maybe God's on my side, right? They need to start implementing those machines in Nevada. Yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, they're trying to work this into law, where they're going to, make this the standard, the gold standard for how they are going to count votes from here on out. Thank you for sharing, Moses. Oh, Moses from Facebook. Moses, you're amazing on Facebook. You always share good things with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys, please know this, even if I don't respond to you, because I get so many messages sometimes, I am reading every single one. Unfortunately, I can't respond to everybody. I can't watch every video that everybody sends me, because it just takes so much time. How do I feel about UFOs? So I personally think that UFOs exist. Now, are they like the green little alien men that we've always been told they are? I don't know. I don't know about that, but I think that it's pretty interesting. I was watching, don't judge me on this, okay? But I was watching this like little clip on Instagram that came up from the Kardashians, and Khloe Kardashian was doing UFO. She was like doing like a little UFO camping trip, like where she was like sitting outside trying to spot UFOs, and I thought that's kind of interesting considering UFOs have been in the news quite a bit. So I was like, huh, I don't put it past TV to like throw things in there because they're constantly trying to program you, constantly trying to brainwash you with stuff. So just be aware of that. Remember, they may not kill her, but when they're done, she could be out of her mind. Well, look, according to the sketch that I saw of her, she already looks kind of crazy. Okay, like her hair. If some of you guys have seen her in pictures, her hair is, she's always been very well put together, short black hair. It's now all grown out. She's got gray hair, dark roots. Her face is very disheveled and aged. At least that's how they drew her. So jail is definitely hard on her, and she's stressed. Either that or she's not getting her adrenochrome, and that's also taking its toll. If you don't know what adrenochrome is, look it up. All this talk about UFOs. Okay, did you hear about Stacey Dash was bullied so much that although she is still a conservative, she has become a political and has denounced Trump? Okay, first of all, I did see that, and I was like, another one bites the dust. That's how I kind of felt about that, because yeah, I think she needed a job. I think that, Stacey Dash has had something like, 3 or 4 husbands. I think she needed to work. I think she needed people to accept her, and she said whatever she needed to say to get people to like her again, because she stated in the interview that the only reason why she spoke the way she did to make people think that she was conservative was because she felt like that's what she needed to do. So she basically admitted that she flip-flops back and forth, okay? I want to make it really clear to people, and if you don't follow Corinne Tatum, who's Brandon Tatum's wife, please do, because she is amazing at calling frauds out, even on the conservative side. Nowadays, you cannot just say, oh, they're a Republican, they're a conservative, we can trust them, they're on our side, they play on our team. No, they don't. Okay, there are so many frauds out there. Angela Stanton King is another one. Stanton King. She has been getting on her live. She was on one this morning where she was shit talking Brandon and the video that he did yesterday. And it was disgusting. It was disgusting to see. And basically it's because she's losing her clout. She went off and talked about King Face and how she was very skeptical of whether he was in the hospital. I mean, the man is dead, first of all. But she was like skeptical that the GoFundMe account wasn't real and that they were trying to scam and this, that, and the other. I mean, she has lost it, and she has gone on the attack with Brandon and Corinne, just saying terrible, terrible things about them. So don't trust that just because people are conservative that they are good people. Cancel culture cult will bully everyone that doesn't side with them. Exactly. Oh yeah, I mean, you guys, like, even these people, like, let's just say LeBron, for instance, okay? He's clearly BLM all the way. But if tomorrow he woke up and he, like, realized, oh, my God, what have I been doing? I need to, like, protect police. I need to speak out against these criminals. The left would turn on him so quick. They are not loyal to anybody. And to tell you the truth, I'm kind of jealous of how savage they are, because I wish that we would be that way to people in our party that do the same thing. When they start to defect from the team, I think we need to treat them the same way the Democrats treat their people. Canceled, done, slander, all that. Like, we need to be that savage. But no, we're constantly the party of do the right thing. So, we're always going to get walked all over. We're always going to get laughed at, that type of thing. We need to grow a pair. Yes, LeBron is a loser. I can't wait. I can't wait not to see LeBron's new movie. I don't know what that means. Does he have a new movie? I wouldn't watch it. He's still on page 1 of whatever book he's reading. So I don't know if he's going to have time. What else? What else? If you guys want to ask any questions that are not related to this topic, please do. If you missed any part of this live stream and you're curious to know what we were talking about, it'll be up and you guys can rewatch it, or you can hit the rewind button in your little bar and go back and watch it right now. But I highly suggest you do. I highly suggest you share. Also, please make sure you're liking this video so that it does get out to the masses. And also make sure you share this video. Also make sure you're subscribed to my channel. That is very, very important. Okay, let me see. Let me hit up this question that just came through. She'll go missing soon enough. Too many Dems on the Epstein BFF list. It's unfortunate, but the government is left controlled, including justice system. As far as LJ, he's a regressed adult. Regressed, yeah, he is. And yes, I agree. It's very interesting that people that are passing away suddenly of whatever, whether it's COVID or, you know, old age. I think it's very, very interesting. And that was something that I predicted that was going to start happening, that all of a sudden people were going to start disappearing because, you know, contrary to popular belief, it doesn't happen like it does in the movies where, you know, they arrest these people and, you know, there's some big takedown. Some of these people are so big, you're never actually going to see a takedown. Like I always believe Obama, for instance, like or Hillary Clinton, if they were ever to, you know, arrest them or take them down, I don't think we would ever know that's what happened. There would be an accident, you know. We had Sharpie Gate here in Illinois like Arizona did. They used different markers for the ballots that bled through. Anyone have this happen in their state? I heard of that happening all over the place. I really did. Now, those ballots should have been discarded, I believe, because you shouldn't be marking a ballot with a Sharpie. Yeah, they were passing out Sharpies in Houston, Dallas, and El Paso. So I don't know. Like, so those types of things are going to be coming up in this audit. And for sure, if they find things like that, they're going to say, well, this is a ballot that shouldn't have been counted. So yeah, I would be really interested after this this audit happens that they, you know, speak to some of the people that participated in this audit, because I would really like to hear what they have to say. I really want to hear how these people were chosen. Like, were they put through a background check, a very high level background check? Because after watching the caliber of people that were counting the election results on the night of the election, it was a little scary that they just have like Joe Schmo from the corner, you know, handling our precious votes. So I mean, I would shoot, if I was on this team of the red shirts, the blue shirts, the black shirts, I would be writing a book after this, okay? With all the details. Okay. How about Biden wearing 2 masks during a Zoom call? What a clown. Did you also catch, you guys, go back to the picture. You're talking about the Zoom call where he's with all the world leaders. Did you also catch that he was, I believe, the only one, there may have been one other guy there, that didn't have the flag for his country in the background? All the other leaders had their flag in the background, like they always do when they're on these, this was, I believe, the climate change or whatever call. He didn't have the flag. What the hell is that? And speaking of flag, did you hear that they have now passed a law that allows U.S. embassies in other countries to fly the LGBTQ flag with the American flag? What the shit is that? Okay, that really, really pissed me off. That really pisses me off, okay? It's not that, you know, I'm not supportive of LGBTQ people. Do what you want to do, but you are not going to be flying on the same pole as my flag, okay? Not happening. No, done. Goodbye. Who is your favorite Fox News host and your least favorite MSDNC? Well, I don't watch MSDNC, but I really love Bill Hemmer is one of them. And I love Oh my gosh, her name just escapes me, but that beautiful African-American woman. Somebody help me out in the comments. I like Tucker and I like Laura Ingraham, but I feel like they flip-flop and they play the game too much. Who's the beautiful black woman anchor? Let me go. Beautiful. I'm gonna search this into my Harris Faulkner. I love Harris Faulkner. I think she is such an underrated, I mean, she's not really underrated. She's a great host, but she is amazing. She is an amazing news anchor. They need to give her a raise. Let's see. Sadly, we've got anti-Americans. Yes, we do. We always will have anti-Americans, just like we will have racists, okay? But I guarantee you there are more pro-Americans than there are anti-Americans, just like we have more accepting people than we have racist and hatred people full of hatred. You're barbecuing and watching me. What are you cooking? Yeah, I wanted to get on here and make a video because my son is actually having ACL and MCL surgery tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a video. So I thought that I'd do a live tonight to get ahead of it. Otherwise, I might kill some time in the hospital and do a live from the hospital. Okay, so how's the audit going? Somebody asked. I will give you like a very quick answer to that question, but please go back and watch the beginning of this video, like the first, what do you guys say, 5-10 minutes of the video. I'm talking about the audit. So if you want to go back, listen to the first 5-10 minutes. The audit is still in process. It hasn't been stopped. That was the other rumor, that they had stopped it, they had paused it. That's not true. The audit is still going. It's going strong. There's a website at az.org. I think it's azaudit.org. Hold on one second. I'll tell you guys just a second. Well, shoot. azaudit.org. Yes, azaudit.org. And you can go and watch 9 live cameras 24/7 and see what's going on in the Veterans Memorial Coliseum where they're doing the audit. They are now moving pretty quickly through these ballots. What I did go into in this video, and I want you to go back and watch it, is all the details around what they're actually looking at in this audit. A lot of people were talking about they're looking at watermarks and, you know, they're just recounting the ballots to make sure that they were properly counted. But no, I explained the forensic information that they are looking for on these ballots that is going to tell them whether they were true votes versus manufactured or, you know, fake votes. So they're also looking for stuff, you guys, like for instance, if somebody just marked the vote for the president and nothing down ballot, that's also going to be a red flag to them. So they're also looking at that. Okay. I hope that helped you, Dubstep Hero. Chicken, pork chops, and asparagus. Okay, everybody. He's about to put his address in the chat, and we're going to all head over for the barbecue. What? You're cooking meat? Even though Biden said we're only supposed to have 1 hamburger a month? How do you think that's going to go over with the illegals that are crossing the border, that all they eat is carne asada and arrachera? Like, how do you think that's going to go over with all the Mexicans that are coming over? You think that they're going to abide by the minimal meat consumption rule that Biden has? Get the hell out of here with that. Bye, Janie. Thank you so much. Anybody else have any other questions? Anything you want me to touch upon? Did you guys hear? Okay, so let me talk about, what's her name? Ma'Khia Bryant. So I did a video on Ma'Khia Bryant, the girl that attacked the other girl with the knife, okay? And I did the video, I think the day that it happened. Didn't know much about, you know, what the facts were. But have you guys seen that the foster mother has now given an interview, and I forget what news station or paper that she gave the interview to, but that she has now come out and stated that those girls were not there to jump Ma'Khia, okay? That they were having a birthday party there for the grandmother at the house, and the girls were fighting over Ma'Khia not wanting to clean up after herself. So they were trying to clean the house. Ma'Khia was, you know, arguing with the girls. which according to the mom was nothing new, that they were all constantly fighting with each other. And that also the police had been called out there multiple times. In fact, they did a link to some of the 911 calls that had previously happened to that address, where the police have had to come out and settle arguments there before. So these girls apparently all live in this foster home with this woman. And I don't know if there's any relation to any of the girls with this woman that's the foster mom. I don't know who the foster dad is. But that is the truth. So this rumor that was going around, and that's straight from the mom's mouth, I didn't make that up. This rumor that was going around that they were there to jump her and that she was defending herself was false. So that'll tell you. That'll get you. I always wonder, like, I remember when it happened that day, I thought, where are these people getting this, like, she got jumped story? Like, where is that coming from? And how do people get this information? Like, does somebody who knows the people that are involved, like, spread this rumor? But it's funny how people spread information as if it is so matter of fact, like they know it for a fact. When I made the video, I had that rumor, right? And I was saying, like, this is what I've heard different stories, but now the truth comes out, and it's now like, it just kind of like fizzled into the background. And even Micaiah's own mother and her crazy ass ghetto aunt got in front of the TV cameras and was crying about how she was protecting herself and that she called the police, which that also was not true. She did not call the police. They have now determined that the girl in the pink called the police to the house, not Micaiah. What's your favorite female black conservative? Anybody want to take a guess at that one? This should be an easy answer. Who is my favorite female? Who is everybody's favorite female black conservative? Can anybody answer that question? It's Candace, guys. Candace Owens is my favorite. I'm actually mentally trying to speak to Candace through the tubers, through the YouTubes, to tell her I want to be on her show. You know, she's had Brandon on there like 3 times, and I get it, 3 or 4 times, because they're like best friends. They're like family now at this point. But I want a piece of it. I'm kind of like, a little bit of FOMO that I haven't been called to go on the Candace Owens show. So, Candace, I'm talking to you through the YouTubes. Call me. I have an agent. If you need to talk to her, she's available. She can schedule me. Just joking. I actually did a live the other day on Instagram, and a few people were like, we just sent a message to Candace that she should have you on her show. I was like, yes. Yes, the media butchered that story and ruined the police officer's life. It is so sad. It's so sad what's going on with police officers. And I've had so many police officers, so many spouses of police officers, like, send me just messages that make me want to cry, because these people that do this job are so just deflated at what's going on and how they're being treated, and it's just not fair. And then you have their spouses who have to every night kiss their spouse goodbye, send them out into the street to protect a community, that seemingly is against them. And it's so sad. It's so sad, to see that happening. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see a lot of police officers, take early retirement and go into other professions, because it's just not worth it in this climate right now. It's just not worth it. And of course, there's going to be those that this is their calling. This is what they, God wanted them to do. They're going to stick with it, come hell or high water. And you have to really respect that, because those people are the people that do things that none of us would probably, even dream about doing willingly. And they get up and do it every day. So you have to, hey, if you see a police officer, please, like, the other day I was like driving and I was just like, yes, like, I'm behind you, like, gave him a thumbs up. But like, if you see a police officer or get a chance to, like, tell them that you appreciate them, that you're behind them, please do it. Because I think that those things go so far when you are just feeling discouraged, and they need to be lifted up for sure. So, see, lots of people think Candace is the best. You need to subscribe to Joy Vila. She's good too. I'll check her out. You know what? Maybe I have seen Joy Vila. Let me go to her channel really quick and just see. I am working on setting this up through StreamYard. Oh yeah. I know Joy Vila. I love her. She's amazing. I'm working on setting this up, by the way, so that I can do share screen with you guys and we can look at things together, similar to how Brandon does it, because he does an amazing job at that. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know. I'm trying to get better for you guys. I'm trying to get better. Look at what's happening to the mothers going after BLM who used their child's death to get donations. Yeah, Breonna Taylor's mom is one of them. She actually spoke out and she said, BLM has done nothing for me. Where has the money gone that you have raised in my daughter's name? It wasn't just like BLM, but there was like also like all these like spin-off BLM groups that claim to be raising money in Breonna Taylor's name. And none of that money's gotten to the family. I think that GoFundMe holds a huge responsibility with that, because I remember when I did the GoFundMe for Brunel, which, by the way, there was like drama with that, but GoFundMe came after me and they were like, they had me prove that this was like a valid GoFundMe. Like I had to prove that like I was in contact with Pia and that, that I wasn't just trying to like take this money and run. It was crazy. So I'm thinking if they did that with me, they should be doing that with all these BLM groups. But that being said, Breonna Taylor's mom got a huge payout from the city, so she is not, hard pressed for money unless, Ben Crump, the lawyer that represented her, took a huge amount of that, and Al Sharpton and all those other guys. So I don't know what that is all about, but I'm glad she came out and spoke out. I wish she would have come out and said, this is what I wish all these mothers would say. I get it as a mom. It doesn't matter what your kids do. To lose a child, even if they are like a bad, criminal, whatever it is, it's not easy to do that as a mother. You love your children regardless of any mistake that they made. But I would have so much more respect for these families if they came out and said, Dante, Brianna, Michaela, Micaiah, if they came out and said, my child wasn't, the squeaky clean image of what a person should be. They've made their mistakes in life. They committed crimes. They made the wrong move on the day that they got shot. But, let's really talk about the issues that are plaguing our community and the things that scare us as, Black mothers or Hispanic mothers, of sending our children out, these misconceptions that we might have, or maybe even valid concerns that we have. Let's talk about them as a community versus turning it around into something hateful and damaging. You know what I mean? I would have so much more respect for the cause if that's how they handled it. But unfortunately, I have yet to see it happen like that. I've yet to see it happen. The only time I kind of saw it happen was the lady, Nikita Bryant. I want to say her name was Nikita. The lady that she got out of her car and the police officer tased her multiple times and she still drove away after she shot the police officer. She ended up dying. But her mother came out and she said, my daughter was at fault and she deserved what she got. I was so impressed with that. And I actually shared it on my YouTube channel, the article, but you just don't see that. And they won't, the news will not share that. BLM will not talk about it because you realize that whole thing went away like that. And it's because the mother was holding her daughter responsible. And she said she had issues. And she said that she played with fire and she got burnt, All right, let's go back to the comments. What happened, Q&M? I don't know what that means. Did you hear that the Muppets are considered offensive now? What would Jim Henson think? Well, good thing he's dead because that would have killed him. Yeah, the Muppets are offensive. Sesame Street's offensive. It's ridiculous. NYPD has had a huge departure of officers. Wow, 75%. I didn't realize it was that much. Okay. The lawyer gets a third of the settlement. That's all he's there for. Yet the Black community look at him as the new savior. Some are seeing through him, showing up, but not enough. Yeah, think about that though. He's represented Breonna Taylor. He has Dante Wright. He had George Floyd. He had Jacob Blake. There was somebody else that he had. But yet he doesn't represent any of the families of the young children that are killed due to gang violence. So I don't know what that's about. But if he's getting a third of all those settlements, Ben Crump is living fat right now. And he is living fat, because when I saw him at the press conference for Dante Wright, he was dripping in Gucci. He had a Gucci scarf. He had on a Gucci suit. The little thugs that protect him were all dripping in Gucci. So that tells you. They're a mob. The mob. What would you do if you encountered Mitt Romney at the airport? I probably wouldn't even recognize him. I probably wouldn't even notice. Now, if I saw somebody like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Biden, Kamala, I'd act a whole fool, okay? You would see me on some viral TikTok, YouTube video, like looking crazy in the airport. I would be in trouble, for sure. The Q and M, maybe for me. I asked who the guy was that kicked the girl on the ground when the girl was attempting to stab another. I don't know what Q and M is. I don't know who the guy was that kicked the girl on the ground. I'm assuming that he lived at the home. He looked like an adult to me. But yeah, like do you notice that none of these women's groups that are constantly talking about how toxic men are, okay, have made mention of how this dude drop kicked this girl in the head while she was on the ground. After Micaiah threw her to the ground, he came up and drop kicked her in the head. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody, not one single news. I mean, they're mentioning it like when the video plays, they're like, and then this guy comes and kicks her, but no outrage over that. No outrage. We're outraged and sad about the girl with the knife that was going to kill the other girl. That's the one we're outraged about. And we're feeling sorry for her. The parents will never admit that their kids were in the wrong, because that's not a good look if they plan to sue. Speaking of it, police reform won't buy Crump Gucci. Yeah, they'll, like I said, I mean, I haven't seen it other than Nikita Holbert, that's her name. Nikita Holbert's mom came out and spoke and said her daughter was not good. She came out and spoke out about it. And I want to hear from Micaiah's mom and understand why she's not living with her mother. Why is that? Are you not a fit mother? Because it's a pretty big deal for your child to become a ward of the state and go into foster care. That means that you're not a good mother in my eyes. So, but she was on scene lickety split, okay? She was there real quick to talk to the cameras. Did I hear Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor of California? Yeah, the whole governor thing in California is a circus, is a joke. In fact, today I heard that they are now pressing forward on Gavin Newsom, on the recall for Gavin Newsom. So they're saying that we should see some type of major movement on that within a year. So look at all the damage he's gonna be able to do in a year. What's going on with Cuomo in New York is what I want to know. Like, what happened to that? What happened to Cuomo's sexual harassment suit? Nothing. We haven't heard anything about that. Nada. Because they created all these other distractions, so that we look the other way. Elon Musk hacked the power grid in Texas during the winter storm. That's the reason he got kicked out of California. No, because he left California well before then. He was in Austin well before then. Meaning it's not profitable to end police brutality. Well, yeah, but you have to understand, if they don't blame the police, then they're going to blame somebody else. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have to just be the police. They're going to blame, once the killers and the gang members, once that's the only thing they have to focus on, then they're going to move back to it's the white man's fault, because if we didn't mistreat them, if we didn't oppress them, they wouldn't be killing each other. That was the excuse when the video came out of the black guy that attacked the Asian person in San Francisco. I was watching the stupid reel, and they were talking about that, and they were like, well, it's pretty sad when races start turning against each other, and it's just because they've created so much animosity between all of us. So they weren't even, it was like, God, where do you guys come up with this shit? All right, I think I got through all the comments. Did I get through all the comments? You guys have anything else you want me to talk about? Make sure you give this video a like if you're in here. Give it a share. Yeah, all right. Well, guys, I am probably going to get off of here. I've been on here for a little bit over an hour, and I have to go take my daughter to her grandmother's house. Because like I said, I have to get up very early in the morning to take my son to surgery. So wish him luck, send him prayers, send me prayers. Because I'm going to be Nurse Mo for the next couple of weeks. Hopefully I'll be able to get up videos and, or maybe hopefully things kind of simmer down. But I will try to keep you guys when there's action going on, so you can kind of see. And if you want to follow on Telegram, there is a account, I think it's Code Monkey Z. If you don't follow me on Telegram, follow me on Telegram, and if you want me to share that account with you, I definitely will. They're giving a lot of great information about the Arizona audit as well. So I'd be happy to share that with you guys if you want it. And if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about that I'm not talking about, or topics that you want me to cover, even if they're lighter ones, fun ones, send them to me, email them to me. My email is letstalkdarling@gmail.com. I have a website, letstalkdarling.com. You can go on there. You can donate on there. You can subscribe to all my social media on there. And make sure you put your email in there so we can stay in contact. And I think that's it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for sure. I thank you guys so much for joining this live stream. I will put the link in there. You want the link for the guy talking about the details of the forensic audit? I will put that in there as well. And then I'll put a link to the AZ audit cameras so you guys can see that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back soon. I won't go too many days without making a video. I might do a live tomorrow in the hospital, depending on how bored I am, depending on if there's anything to talk about. But let's hope these liberals behave tomorrow so I can get a little day off. And that's all I got for you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Mwah.